I'm joined by Ambassador Majed Bamia. He's a top Palestinian diplomat with the title of Deputy Permanent Observer of the State of Palestine at the United Nations. Ambassador, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You speak Arabic. You're not a translator by profession, so you can't verify any of this. But did you basically follow what I was saying, and what do you make of it?
Yes, I mean, it's consistent with the narrative that you have to evacuate or your death is something acceptable. And international laws say that civilians are protected wherever they are. You cannot use the war as cover for forcible displacement of people.
Under any circumstance. In other words, when people say, well, they voted for Hamas, first of all, that's an interesting discussion because that was in 2006. But even if you voted for somebody last year, you cannot be forced from your home because of their activities.
First, not everybody voted for Hamas, and people voted for Netanyahu and for the people now killing Palestinians. Does that justify the killing of Israelis? These kind of rationale, absurd rationale for justifying killing are horrible. They're not consistent with international law, and we're changing the laws of war. If you're saying, go to the south, you're bombing the south. People have nowhere to go. Shelters and hospitals cannot evacuate. It's a death sentence, says the UN, for many people to evacuate. And again, we have a history of forcible displacement. We are suspicious of the intention of Israel by this forcible displacement. So the UN is clear. They should receive humanitarian aid wherever they are, civilians, and they should be protected wherever they are. This is unlawful, and this is targeting of civilians and indiscriminate attacks.
We are watching what's going on the Gaza border right now. The aid convoy, the 20 trucks that went in, the 17 that are ready to go in, and whatever those fuel trucks are. What's your update on this? Our update is that the 17 trucks in today's convoy have passed through the Egyptian part of the checkpoint, but the checkpoints are complicated because you go through into a no man's land. Yeah. Then it all gets checked again before it goes into Gaza.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize, I don't know exactly about the 17 trucks, but you're speaking of a droplet. While needs are increasing exponentially, Israel is still refusing for fuel to enter. Without fuel, no desalination plants, no hospitals, no drinkable water, people dying, including 120 newborn babies on incubators. And fuel we're on 24, 48 hours away from a major humanitarian catastrophe. And again, we're saying 1 million displaced. That's 170 million Americans. Mm-hmm. We're saying 4,000 killed. That's the equivalent of 600,000 Americans. We're saying 14,000 injured. That's 3 million Americans. Just the scale, the sheer scale of a small territory that is under bombardments, where people are fleeing for their lives with nowhere to go, and you're allowing 20 trucks and 17 trucks after the intervention of the U.S. President, the Secretary General, and every capital on earth. It's just what.
Yeah, explain that to me, because we've seen Anthony Blinken in, I think, 7 major capitals and repeating a few of them. We've seen Lloyd Austin going there. We know that Austin's on the phone with the Israeli defense minister every day. We see Joe Biden talking about both humanitarian aid and asking Israel not to, to try and avoid humanitarian catastrophe. The world's pressure is coming to bear. Why is it not having an effect?
I mean, because Israel has a long history of not listening to people who still give her weapons and money. And again, if you give billions of dollars to Israel and you cannot even convince it to get humanitarian aid, I'm convinced those who are asking humanitarian aid to come in, they want it to come in. Mm-hmm. By the way, they should ask for the stopping of the bombings in parallel. It's not logical not to ask for a ceasefire till now with all these civilians killed. It's outrageous not to have done so far. So I believe them for asking, but what will they do if Israel refuses? What measure are they going to take? Like what they did when Israel was colonizing, and they were against it. Everything that Israel does, if there's no consequences.
Let's go back to that for a second. When you say colonizing, for our viewers, we talk about the settlements, right? The expansion of the settlements. This is it's one of the top issues for Palestinians, that the facts on the grounds continue to change, including in the West Bank. Right? Yes. A new settlement, the way it works is a Palestinian lives there, they're evicted from their property because they're told it's for military importance or archaeological importance or whatever the case is, and then suddenly there's an Israeli settlement that comes in. America says that the world says those are not illegal. America, generally speaking, objects to them. In the Trump administration, they didn't object, but most Democratic administrations object to them. Yeah. But your point is they don't stop.
Now there are 700,000 Israeli settlers in the West Bank, and the number is increasing. We had 80 Palestinians killed in the last 10 days in the West Bank, including 6 on the hands of settlers, themselves taking weapons and shooting at them. And we have several communities displaced in the last 10 days, taking over the territory. So again, nobody wants to speak of the context of the occupation. We're being also sensitive about the situation. But honestly, if you don't resolve the situation, that will lead to...
So let's talk about that. How do you address the deep and long history and context of the situation in the wake of what happened on October 7th. Because what it caused people to do is say, this is barbaric, this is monstrous, this is one of the worst things that's ever happened. Now's not the moment to discuss that context. You have been trying to have that context brought into the broader media discourse and the American discourse for a long time. It doesn't generally take.
I'm talking to you while over 4,000 Palestinians have been killed, almost all civilians, including 1,700 children. We could have called for vengeance, and we could have said 75 years of dispossession and displacement allow us to kill people. And we're saying, no, because of that history, we need to solve the conflict. We need the end of the occupation. We need two states. Israel is there. We need Palestine to be there. We need our people to be free. We need to live in dignity. And honestly, the fact we need to argue that is horrific. It's insulting. It's humiliating. People consider freedom as something given for granted. Palestinians have never had a day of freedom in their lives. So we need to be courageous in moments like these. Says, no, you cannot kill civilians. That will help nobody. We've given you the weapons and the money for all these years, Israel, and that doesn't make you more safe. You're making peace with countries you're not at war with and making war to the people and country you need to make peace with. We can't allow you to do that because you are our ally, because you have our support, because we're involved with you, and in the perceptions of many people who are complicit of whatever you're doing next. You have to change that course. And I know it's hard to say it now, but this is when you need it. And it's hard for us to say it now while our people are being killed by the government of Israel, not by a group, by the government of Israel. And yet, because we're responsible to save our Palestinian people's lives by selfishness, if it's not by humanity, we need to say peace is the only way forward.
Ambassador, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Majed Bamia is the Deputy Permanent Observer of the State of Palestine at the United Nations.